Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Lord of the Rings, the Third Age walkthrough. Alright, so we're still in Helm's Deep. We're just about to get started in on the, I guess the final string of battles here for this area. So let's get started.
We've lost the deeping wall! They're almost through the gate!
They're almost through the gates. Alright, so here we finally get to, I guess, hang out with Aragorn, because he's the coolest. Yeah, I don't know, he's got I guess a pretty good set of skills here. Kingmaker, I think that's just a basic attack. Rage of LSR, I think that's a 2-strike. I'm not reading these fast enough. Numenor Wrath, I believe that's a stun. And then Wrath of Sauron, or is it Bane of Sauron? I think it's Bane of Sauron. Sauron, whatever. However you want to say his name. But anyways, Bane is an extremely devastating ability. That thing hits, I think it's like it's either a 4 or 5 hit combo, something like that. But then Aragorn's damage is just crazy. It's just through the roof. Anyways, just like really any other battle here, you know, we're going to get reinforcements. So it's best if you can get a couple of these guys kind of under control. And then, you know, work on dealing with these guys one at a time. I guess that's how I would recommend doing that. I don't remember if the guys with the crossbow, I think they can be slept. So I mean, I guess I could have started out with an arrows asleep. I guess I use Suffocate Evil here and a couple of fears to get things under control. And then here I'm just gonna buff everybody up, or I guess buff these guys up. It's looking like this might be my... No, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Aoden is not typically in my party of brutal dudes. I don't know. I don't know how to describe my setup. Usually Aoden isn't the one that's doing a whole lot of damage. Now, that's not to say that he's not good at it, because he is. He is actually pretty insane. And I don't know why I woke up that guy with just a regular attack. I guess. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. He should not have been able to counterattack because he's feared. But there must be something wonky with the coding of the game where, you know, when an enemy is woke up, you know, they get an attack no matter what, I guess. I guess that's how that all goes down, because again, this guy's feared, so he shouldn't have been able to counterattack. Numenor Wrath, once again, like I said earlier, that's a stun, so if I wouldn't have just destroyed that guy, you could have got a look-see at the devastation. Aragorn is pretty brutal. The one question I have here, and hopefully I am able to answer that, but I wasn't sure if Aragorn would take abilities or take actions if Barethor uses, you know, Warcry or Warcall. I'm not sure if he gets a turn or if Barethor takes the 3rd slot, I guess. So again, I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully I'll actually try it out. Oh, it's so close. It's one above. Go one up. Come on. Go to Warcry. Nope. Okay. Sorry. Maybe later. Anyways, again, same strategy applies here. Get guys, get things under control, and then take one target out at a time. Suffocate Evil, generally a good skill to be using here. I feel like you got to use that when you can. There's Bane. Let's see, 3.5k times 4. That's not too bad, right? 140k or so. If my math is right, it's probably not, but whatever. Anyways, you know, again, I've already said this a couple of times. You buff your guys up. It's always a good idea. Get haste going. Again, it looked like I'm just sneaking guys in here to take a turn so that I'm gonna get full credit. That's another thing. Make sure everybody takes an action in this battle. You know, this is worth a ton of experience here because we're gonna be killing multiple Uruks. I believe there are some trolls in the mix in here too. So, you know, again, make sure that everybody gets in and takes an action for that experience. Alright, so this guy is going to use Crippling. I guess, you know, if you want to, you can toss out Whip of the Master if you've got it to, you know, make your guys immune. I would say for this battle, it's not a bad idea if you've got you know, a group of 3 characters that you really like to use. Swap in your, you know, the ones that don't get as much use first. You know, give them a couple of actions, and then once you've got everybody, like your damage dealing party or whatever set up, then I would start buffing. You know, that way, you know, you don't have people that are missing some buffs and whatnot. And then once you've got, you know, buffs taken care of, then you can start going to town. Which is exactly what it appears we're going to be doing right now. Again, you know, if you've got good multi-target damage like I do here, go ahead, use your Wheel of Fires, use your, what's Hadhod's ability there? Flames of Ruin, you know, that type of deal. Otherwise, you know, you may want to stick to single target damage, and you know, for most playthroughs, I think that's generally going to be the way you're going to want to handle it. And again, just because you want to keep control over the flow of the battle, you don't really want, you know, a bunch of dudes running in at once and then getting turns, and next thing you know, somebody's laying on the ground dead. So, and thus wasting all your buffs, which is never fun. But anyways, you know, to heck with strategy, right? When you can just do this stuff. I preach strategy and then I don't use it. It's kind of sad. The guys with the spears are kind of nasty. I don't believe they can be slept. I think they can still be feared though, and possibly even, yeah, they might be. Oh, yep. All right. So you can suffocate evil on them. That's always a good strategy as well. Or I should say a good ability to use. I really hope that I tried, yeah, here we go. Alright, so this is kind of some of the fun stuff I like to do with Barathor and Idril. Here it comes. Here comes the war cry. So, if you notice that I just used a Valorious Haste to give basically Idril's turn to Barathor instead. And yeah, there you go. So Aragorn does get called upon for the war call. Oh, Idril up again. Come on, one more oh, lame. I thought I was going to do another Valorious Haste. I guess there was only that one guy left, so that would have been maybe a little bit lame, but one more time. Come on. Everybody's all buffed up. I've got all my, you know, damage buff going. It's time to start wrecking stuff. I think the cool thing with this, and we'll see here. Boom, look at that. All right, so that's company power. It makes your character's crit. Obviously, Hadhot doesn't get much benefit from that because of his passive. Obviously, though, my the perfect meter has to be full when that's used. But there you go. So that's kind of the power of War Call there. Or War Cry. Sorry, it was War Cry in this case. Again, I always get those two mixed up. It's hard to keep them straight. They're just so darn similar. One of the other cool things, though, I believe anyway, with War Cry is that so it gives 3 characters a turn, or it makes 3 characters kind of take actions. I think in these combat runs, and we'll probably see here, but there you go. So she finishes off one, the next orc runs up, sorry, troll, and Aragorn, boom, he goes. And then we should still get Hadhod to take his action. There you go. So I guess you don't have to worry about wasting or like overkill, you know, to a certain extent. But that is the beauty of War Call. You know, hopefully I'm not you know, beating a dead horse here, but I think that ability is really underutilized. It can really do some impressive damage. And then on top of that, I mean, Idril's actually that Valorious Haste is an insane ability. It can really change things up for you. You know, if it's her turn, or if she needs to take a turn, and you've got like 5 enemies, well, maybe not 5, 4 enemies, we'll just say, staring you in the face, about to take turns. Hey, you can just give her turn to somebody like Elagast, and then he can, you know, Arrow of Sleep, and hopefully that takes care of a couple of targets for you. Another really interesting use of that ability is that even if somebody like Elagast isn't there, so say, you know, Morwen is on the field, you can actually use Valorious Haste on Morwen, and then during Morwen's turn, you can swap her out with, you know, Elagast, and still get your Arrows of Sleep off if you want. So, you know, again, really cool ability. You know, you may not get a whole lot of use out of it, but it can really change things. And especially because it seems to me in this game, your first couple actions in battle can really determine the outcome. And what I mean by that is, you know, say you're looking at a bunch of mobs that can stun, and you know, we'll say Barathor's on the field. Well, if Barathor gets his turn first, then boom, you hit stand fast, and then you don't have to worry about your characters getting stunned. On the flip side, if somebody like Idril gets her first turn, or gets the turn first, well, then you just Valorious Haste, you know, in Elagast, so he can get some sleep arrows out, or Valorious Haste on Barathor and get your stand fast off. You know, so again, really cool skill. Probably underutilized. I even feel like I don't utilize it probably as well as I could. But, you know, again, it's little things like that can really change the outcome of a battle. Anyways, I wanted to get a dragon calling in there just so you guys can see what that skill looks like. There's a fairly decent chance that on a normal playthrough you won't see that at this point, but if you do, well, kudos. My hat's off to you. You've done your work. Is this another... Are we in the middle of another war call? So another great thing, you know, with war call is, you know, tossing out a company might and a company valor. Obviously, company power also really did some nice work there. It's always nice to crit on every hit. 282,000 experience. Very nice. Alright, so Barathor got some Vam braces, and I don't know what else I got there.
Never!
You must fall back. Give up this fight.
They have broken through! The castle is breached! Retreat! Retreat! Hurry!
Obviously, these guys weren't paying attention to my characters at all. There would have been no reason to retreat. We were wrecking faces. All right, anyways, I believe that was the last battle that we will be seeing. Well, I shouldn't say that. We will see Aragorn later on in the game. Sorry, spoilers, I know, but for right now, for Helm's Deep, I believe we are on our own. For these guys, I would definitely recommend getting that stand fast out. You've got obviously 3 characters staring us in the face that can all stun. So I would recommend Stand Fast as your first action with Barathor. If you haven't learned it yet, what is wrong with you? No, okay. If you haven't learned it yet, though, I would strongly recommend learning that as soon as you possibly can. This is not the last battle that we will be running into, you know, multiple enemies that can stun. Unfortunately, these berserkers and I believe this troll are basically immune to any fun stuff. And by fun stuff, I mean fear and suffocate evil. I believe they can still be crippled. Let's see. Yep, bingo. So that is, I suppose, their one weakness. Sorry, I believe they can be stunned as well. Sometimes I forget about stun because at a certain point in the game, I tend to not use stun as much as other abilities. Anyways, the berserkers can be stunned. I don't believe this troll can be affected by, like, literally any of those, like, turn reduction type status effects. I don't know, does that make sense? You know, he can still be affected by things like piercing might or, you know, heal armor, that sort of thing. As well as something like a flash arrow would be pretty good idea to put on him, just to, you know, reduce his accuracy. But anyways, other than that, he can't be put to sleep. I don't think Suffocate Evil will work. I don't believe he can be, I don't believe, like, Paralyzing Wound or Paralyzing Shot will land on him. Any type of, melee immobilization. So again, he's a little bit tougher. I would definitely say you should be taking out the Berserkers first. They have obviously far less health, less armor, less everything. I don't know why I'm... Oh, yeah, okay. I just wanted to delay his turn. Anyways, same strategies apply here. Get your Stand Fast off. And then, you know, buff up if you feel you need to. And here is the beauty. Oh, my God. It's another reason why Warcry is so good. It's just so broken. Look at this. Oh my god. Granted, alright, so my Barathor missed a strike there, which, get used to that. Get used to seeing him missing on stuff because his dexterity is atrocious, as well as his damage. If you haven't noticed, you know, there's literally no points into his strength right now, and even his gear is more oriented towards spirit power, so... You know, again, don't expect to be seeing him do fantastic physical damage. I mean, it's okay. It's the good thing about Barathor is his weapons are just so strong, and his stats, like his natural stat gains, are really good. So you know, it's not like he's gonna just be doing, you know, pathetic damage the whole game, but it's also not gonna be, you know, real fantastic either. Look at this. Okay, Rampage of Helm for, like, what was that? 2, 3, 4, a little less than 5,000 damage there. Pretty weak. But that's and so there's an Aodin that has no strength whatsoever. I'm surprised he landed all of his hits. I didn't put any points into his dexterity either. He's all speed and all spirit. Boom! Hadhad going for the Berserk. I like that skill actually on Hadhad. I'm not sure if Berserk, the speed bonus from it, if it actually stacks with, whatchamacallit? Haste of the Elves. Wow, I don't know why that was so difficult. Anyways, not sure if that stacks or not. But if it does, awesome. If not, meh, whatever. The, he gets an he'll take more damage under the Berserk status, but in all honesty, it doesn't matter. He's so tanky to begin with that it just doesn't matter.
I do not fear them. I fear no one.
conspired with these creatures. Your treachery is far worse than that of the worm, Grima. I burn both Ent and Horn to forge my army's steel. With their bodies, I created a new power. Now, you are an instrument in its ruin. For this, you shall pay. You are mine, and obey my will. None dare resist me.
Okay. I don't know what was going on there with Saruman. He was talking some mad smack or something. Anyways. Alright, what do we got here? I see one veteran berserker for sure. It looks like 2 regular berserkers, and then a really chumpy troll. If I remember right, the troll is you can lock him down with sorry, suffocate evil. If I remember it, I guess we'll see here for sure. But all right, so we're going full on crazy here. If you're not able to take down like multiple targets with Idril there using Frenzy, don't bother, because the reuse time. I mean, in all honesty, I really don't like. I shouldn't say that. I don't really recommend using Frenzy much. You can get yourself into some pretty major trouble if you aren't able to kill things fast enough. And what I mean by that is, just using Frenzy alone already has a really long reuse timer, so you're gonna knock yourself way down in the turn list just by using that. And then on top of that, any action that you take, specifically things like Loudwater Fury, you know, some things that have really long reuse timers, are gonna knock you down even farther on that turn list. So if you aren't able to hack down multiple targets, don't bother. It's just it's not really gonna do you much good. And then on top of that, especially for battles like this where you're gonna have constant reinforcements, that's probably the worst case scenario, because even if you are able to knock something down, you know, in a normal battle, well, the battle would be over and you'd be okay. But in a battle like this where you're getting reinforcements, well, the next guy in line is going to run up, and then he's going to get like multiple turns by the time you're able to take your next turn. So again, in fights like this where you've got you know, multiple waves coming at you, I would not use Frenzy. Unfortunately, most times, unless you've played the game before, you're not going to know that. But in all honesty, I would just say, as a general rule, it's usually not a great idea to use Frenzy. It's just not. And not just Frenzy, literally everybody, I guess, can fall under that kind of category, because, you know, everybody's got like a double attack or a Frenzy, or, well, I think that's the, is that the only, yeah, right, okay, so Hadhod and Barathor, I believe, get double attack. I think maybe Morwen as well. Idril gets Frenzy. Eodin's is called Frenzy, and I think Elagast is called Frenzy. Anyways, not important, but again, my recommendation, don't use those. There's rare times where it's not a bad idea, but in most cases it's not that great of an idea to use that. Anyways, getting back to it here. So what did we get? We got a bunch of more berserkers came up, and these ones look to be veterans. Yep, that's a veteran for sure. Again, and if I remember right, the troll can be, you can land Suffocate Evil on him, which probably means that he can be feared. I'm not 100% sure on fear. Maybe I'll actually attempt it here at some point. That would be nice, because then we could confirm. Or it could just die from Wheel of Fire. Womp womp. Oh, another one. Okay. Well, let's find out here. I know in my my most recent playthrough through this area, if I remember right, I stuck Suffocate Evil on them. And again, that's just, it's such a crazy skill. It's so good. I should say, it's so good for a short period of time. They're just, it gets to a certain point in the game, and a lot of the more difficult enemies to fight, there's just no way around. Well, you just really can't be all that cheesy with them. You know, so you kind of have to take advantage of that skill when the timing is good, I suppose. You know, there are random random enemies that you can use that on, but unfortunately, for the most part, those enemies are also kind of, you know, wimpy and not really a threat anyway. So, unfortunately, you know, it doesn't. Wouldn't say that it doesn't matter at all, but it just is. It's less effective or less needed. There you go. There's a leeching blow. So, I don't know. I guess those guys can be a little annoying. The Berserkers, that is. They do have some pretty great skills. Stagger Foe is their best, for sure. Leeching Blow is okay. It's just a little annoying, I guess. You know, it doesn't hit very hard. So, I mean, they're only going to be healing, you know, 1,000 at a time or so. And, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not going to save them. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it could. Wow, 429? I think he's equipped with the wrong bow. There is no way he should be hitting that wimpily. Weakly. He shouldn't be that weak. Anyways, you get the point, I think. Really hope I confirm whether or not you can use stagger, or I was going to say staggering foe. Whatchamacallit? Suffocate evil? There you go. Sure looks like Morwen's equipped with the wrong axes too. Alright, so one of the things about this is, so before this battle, I did a lot of skill ups with my different characters, and some of, or for most of them anyway, I equipped them with like their worst weapons possible, just so that I wasn't killing enemies as fast. So again, that's why they're like somebody like Elagast is doing absolutely horrible damage. Normally I would, you know, swap out a weapon, but he's not really here to do damage. He's really just here to use crippling shot and keep delaying turns, I suppose. All right, here's a little showcase I'm out in here. It's maybe the only time I use it in the game. Boom, that's all right. That's a pretty, yeah, it's a pretty decently hitting ability, or decent strength, I suppose. I believe that kind of goes off of his spirit powers, and I don't know if, as far as I know, it can't miss. I've never missed with it, so you know, it may have that, like, I guess, accuracy component to spirit powers, where it just won't miss. Again, though, I'm not 100% sure on that. I guess I just haven't used it enough to really, you know, say one way or the other. Anyways, it looks like we got a war call going on here. And one thing I want to add about Durin's Wrath and whatnot. So you'll see he's actually still critting because of I'm in perfect mode. And I forget, I think it's Overwhelming Axes. That's his passive that makes it so that if your bar's completely filled up, you'll always do crits. But being that the enemy was immune to, oh, and I didn't have Stand Fast on because look who got stunned. Anyways, being that the trolls were immune to stun, all you'll see is immune, but his hits are still doing criticals. So I guess just keep that in mind. Oh, I think I meant to, nope, okay, I did do it on the right target, sorry. I thought I did Glorious Haste on the wrong guy. Anyways. I feel like I should have finished off that Berserker first instead of going for this troll, but whatever. It is what it is. Oh, okay, well, or there we go. I'll just finish off that troll anyway. Look at that damage, it's so weak. Okay, so maybe Maybe Elagast is equipped with the right bow, and these guys just have really good defense. I'm not sure. Anyways, we are right about at the end here. I believe this Berserker is the last guy, so I'm going to cut the commentary, and we will pick it up right after this. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. Hope these guys are helpful, though, and hope you keep joining me for more. All right, thanks for watching.